The year 2014 radically changed Ukraine. Military operations in the east of the country have shown the incredible courage of the Ukrainian people. Every day the names of heroes who stand guard over peace and sovereignty of their country go down in modern Ukrainian history. The history of revival, formation and achievements of the armed forces of Ukraine and Ukrainian law enforcement agencies in this special project, Ukraine in Uniform. They patrol the Ukrainian sea from the air and rescue ships, and to rescue people that are victims of disaster. They protect the seashore from the enemy fleet and aviation. They are those who perform the most difficult tasks at great depths of the sea. Fighters who conquer the sea, land and air. This program is about military professions in the Ukrainian Navy. In our line of work, flights are the most positive thing. For any flight specialist, it is interesting and quite exciting.
Это интересно, это захватывающе.
Our line of specialized work provides us the opportunity to see many beautiful places.
Во время работы ты видишь.
The vast sea is all they can see from the altitude of flight of a Ukrainian Navy helicopter. A layman would think it's impossible to determine what territory belongs to whom. But that is the specificity of naval aviation. Pros that know their job serve in this special unit. The specificity of work of naval aviation is different from the work of ground force aviation. First of all, this is because we carry out most of the flights over the sea, without any coastline in sight, and this modifies the performance of tasks in a certain way. Specialized Air Force flight crews should be able to orientate themselves in areas without reference points and fly above the surface of water in difficult weather conditions. Maritime pilots perform a lot of tasks: combat patrols, search for enemy submarines, and in support of sea paratroopers. Not a single rescue operation can be properly accomplished without them. We do all kinds of useful jobs and engage in all kinds of tasks in cooperation with ships and search and rescue operations. If somebody is stricken by a disaster, our aircraft perform the accordant tasks and directs and navigates the rescue ship to the sinking object. Flights over the water outside the visibility of the coastal strip are equated to flights in difficult meteorological conditions. This imposes specific challenges on the training of flight crews. This is what we are working on. The 10th Brigade of Naval Aviation has also changed its deployment since 2014, after the annexation of Crimea. As the flight unit commander Colonel Ihor Vidzayev recalls, they were lucky to manage to save all the equipment and fly out of the peninsula. It was possible due to the fact that the situation had been assessed at the time, which allowed crews to carry out the relocation of certain vehicles to the airfield. The airfield was blocked, but the situation was not critical enough and allowed our aircraft to take off. The Naval Aviation Brigade was relocated to the Kulbakino airfield in full strength and is currently performing the same tasks assigned to it. The first to step on Mykolaiv turf was the mascot of the Naval Aviation Brigade, a dog named Black. He stayed steadfast throughout the whole flight and now keeps serving with the rest of the crew. In recent years, the tasks of naval aviation have changed a lot. The military service have made their adjustments due to the military action in the east of Ukraine. Tasks have changed in comparison with the period before the war. Firstly, we now face more realistic problems. Secondly, these tasks are carried out in the interests of real troops. That is, the crew's responsibility for carrying out the tasks has increased. And thirdly, today we have a real enemy that counteracts us on the sea. That enemy is the fleet of the Russian Federation, which behaves as though the Black Sea belongs to them. Numerous provocations and violations on the state border force the Ukrainian Navy to always be on alert and be ready to protect Ukrainian maritime and land territory. First, life itself forces us to search for methods of warfare, because today we have a real enemy that surpasses us in numbers and arms. Therefore, we have to carry out tasks with the help of new tactical methods in order to adequately counteract them.
Завдання за допомогою нових тактичних прийомів.
The representatives of this military profession in the Ukrainian Navy conquer the depths of the sea. Their work is very dangerous and unpredictable. They are looking for sunken ships, to save drowning people, and to demine territory underwater. A diver has no chance to make a mistake, seeing as in most cases it is they who are responsible for their own lives. Therefore, the special equipment that provides optimal temperature and breathing underwater must be thoroughly checked, and these divers must be well trained and ready to dive deep. Divers need special equipment to carry out the underwater tasks assigned to them. The diving tank is used to store pressurized air. Weights are used to help the divers descend and give them buoyancy. The buoyancy condenser is used to equalize buoyancy and keep the diver under the water. The regulator of the first and second degrees is used by the diver for breathing. The diving mask is needed to protect the face and the eyes. The diving helmet protects the head. The diver's knife is used for various situations, and the wetsuit is used to protect the body.
Перш за все, особовий склад повинен мати.
First of all, the personnel must have a diving qualification, which they acquire during a 3-month training and study course. During the training sessions, they carry out some activities that are directly related to the performance of the required tasks.
Відпрацьовують деякі заходи, які пов'язані з виконанням завдань.
There are special criteria for the selection of diving specialists. Of course, those who pass the selection are taught how to dive safely.
Повинен бути фізично здоровий, повинен бути мати, фізично здоровий,
They must be physically healthy and physically developed. Accordingly, they must pass the tests that determine whether or not they are suitable to perform the required tasks.
Після цих трьох складових,
After those 3 requirements are fulfilled, the divers are sent to the academy where they study and achieve the basic level of diving qualifications.
отримують базовий рівень підготовки за кваліфікацію водолаз.
The naval forces of Ukraine cannot be imagined without naval artillery. All artillery placements in service on ships and with coastal forces are designed to destroy sea, air and coastal ground targets.
Артиллерийское подразделение военно-морских сил Украины.
The artillery unit in the Ukrainian Navy plays a huge role in inflicting fire damage on enemy landing aircraft, as well as on other surface targets that approach the shoreline of Ukrainian territory. So the main task of sea artillery is to drive the enemy back into the sea, prevent the enemy from boarding their ships and leaving the territorial waters of Ukraine. Also, they must destroy the enemy landing parties using the arsenal of naval artillery, particularly guns of various calibers.
Как правило, артиллерийские подразделения, которые наносят.
As a rule, artillery units that fire at the enemy have large caliber cannons, 100 to 250 mm or more. Long-range artillery fires from distant fronts and inflicts damage to the enemy.
По урезу воды, нанося тем самым, огневое поражение противнику.
Even though it is said that there is no significant difference in naval artillerymen training, the combat tactics are different.
Особенности есть, может быть, при поражении отдельных целей.
There are certain factors when it comes to hitting separate targets. Naval artillery employs certain calibers, and there is a certain specificity to controlling fire.
И плюс, к тому же, есть особенности по управлению огнем, проведению пристрелки.
It is necessary to know the tactics of the enemy, sea tactics, to be precise, know areas of formation of landing waves, and the location and terrain of the landing areas themselves. It is vital to know the order and placement of naval convoys, sea targets, and boat convoys that are planned for deployment at some point of time in the future.
Ротные, взводные колонны. То есть здесь необходимо знать порядок и построение колонн, которые выдвигаются, морских целей. То есть колонны катеров, которые будут в дальнейшем разворачиваться.
The soldiers are proud to serve in naval artillery units. There are certain advantages to it, the most important of which is the sea. The service is going well. In the Navy, we are constantly at sea and enjoy the beauty of this maritime habitat. We are both on land and at sea, and we get to see practically everything. Undoubtedly, the Marine Corps is the pride of the Ukrainian Navy. They're able to assault enemy ships, defend, siege hills, and fortify positions, and land from ships and aircraft to the rear for diversions to divert the enemy's attention from themselves. Coastal troops of the Navy are designed to perform combat operations in any conditions. The Black Berets are troops with constant combat readiness and are capable of performing any combat mission. Marine infantry are the masters of the three elements. We carry out tasks both during assaults at sea and during assaults in the air. The Marine Corps of Ukraine passed a serious test of loyalty, courage and patriotism in 2014. The annexation of Crimea and Russian military aggression changed the fate of many Ukrainian Marines. In March 2014, the servicemen who had sworn allegiance to Ukraine were relocated to Mykolaiv and Odessa. It was then that the Marine Corps of Ukraine's Navy began its revival and development. Service in the Marine Corps is a profession that requires certain qualities. A soldier must be physically well developed and able to make decisions very quickly. But the most important thing is the desire to become a professional in this profession, namely to become a true Marine. True professionals serve not only in the Marine Corps, patriots of their country serve in all divisions of the Ukrainian Navy. They are loyal to the oath to Ukraine and their people. The changes that are now taking place in the Ukrainian armed forces, and the Navy in particular, will make them even stronger and constantly combat ready. We have reached certain capabilities, especially in the coastal area. We have quickly restored our combat capability and built up our potential, which now allows coastal units to perform tasks in the ATO zone. The very attitude of people to the fulfillment of their official duties has changed. The ideology has changed, and everything in society and in the minds of servicemen has changed.
І в свідомості військовослужбовців. Дух морської піхоти, берег частин, високий дух корабельної...
The spirit of the Marine Corps and the spirit of coastal units and the ship crews are also high. That allows us to take steps towards further development.
Робити кроки для розвитку вперед.
The command of the Ukrainian Navy has developed new plans and development prospects until 2020. Ukraine is a maritime state, and naval military personnel show with their achievements that glorious fighting traditions live here, and that these are the best pages of history that are yet to be written by the new generations of Ukrainian naval forces. The heroes of today's programme protect the state of Ukraine, its sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Ukrainian army is doing everything so that civilians do not have to take up weapons and will be safe. We wish you peaceful skies. See you in the next programme.